Hello everyone. Got 3 dirty jokes for you today. So 2 nuns are ordered to paint a room in the convent, with a warning from the Mother Superior not to get even a drop of paint on their habits, which are costly to replace. After conferring about this, the 2 nuns decide to lock the door of the room, strip off their habits, and paint with no clothes on. In the middle of the project, there's a knock at the door. "Who is it?" calls one of the nuns. "Blind man," replies a voice from the other side of the door. The 2 nuns look at each other and shrug, both deciding that no harm can come from letting a blind man into the room. So they open the door. "Nice boobs," says the man. "Where should I hang the blinds?" So Jack and Jill are 2 employees of a bottled water company. Business hasn't been too good lately, so the boss decides he needs to fire one of them. The first day, he keeps an eye on Jack. Jack comes in early, goes straight to his desk, and gets to work. He works solidly all through the morning, shooing away a couple of co-workers who drop into his cubicle for a chat. At lunchtime, he grabs a quick sandwich at his desk and keeps going. He storms through the afternoon chasing up deals, getting a few new clients to sign up. Then when everyone else leaves at the end of the day, he spends an hour updating the client database. Wow, the boss thinks to himself, if Jill is as good a worker, then I'll have a really difficult decision to make. The next day, Jill comes in half an hour late. She spends half the morning hanging around the water cooler, complaining of a headache. At 11:30, she takes off for lunch. Returning at 1 o'clock, she listlessly goes through the motions at her desk for a while before telling her supervisor she's going home due to her headache. The following morning, the boss calls Jill into his office. "Jill," he says, "you know business has been bad lately, so I'm afraid that I'm either going to have to lay you or jack off." "Well," she says, "you're going to have to jack off because I still have a headache." So a woman went to a pet shop and immediately spotted a large, beautiful parrot. There was a sign on the cage that said $50. "Why so little?" she asked the pet store owner. The owner looked at her and said, "Look, I should tell you first that this bird used to live in a brothel, and sometimes it says some pretty vulgar things." The woman thought about this but decided she wanted the bird anyway. She took it home, hung its cage in her living room, and waited for it to say something. The bird looked around the room, then at her, and said, "New house, new madam." The woman was a bit shocked at the implication, but then thought, that's not so bad. When her 2 teenage daughters returned from school, the bird saw them and said, "New house, new madam, new girls." The girls and the woman were a bit offended, but then began to laugh about the situation. Moments later, the woman's husband came home from work. The bird looked at him and said, "New house, new madam, new girls, old clients."